This is Calabash community as we continue our tour of the Ma Kote Mangrove. Next we meet the Chief Forest Officer, Adam Toussaint, who puts the entire project into perspective.
Okay, so we are located at the Ma Kote Mangrove. Of course, it's one of the Ramsar site. Well, we say it in short Ramsar, but it's really designated as a wetland of international importance. This is one of two wetlands of international importance. The other one is the Savans Bay Mangrove, is the other wetland of international importance. The Ma Kote Mangrove is the largest mangrove in all the mangrove areas in St. Lucia, and rightfully so, we chose to list it as one of the mangrove of international importance, what we call the Ramsar sites. Yeah.
Okay, you mentioned it's the largest, so can you give us a rough idea of the size and so on?
Okay. Well, it's not really surveyed, but what we earmarked as an area was 75 acres in all, in terms of the areas that are inundated with water from time to time, permanently or semi-permanently underwater. But the extent of the mangrove area is still yet to be determined. The extent, I think after we survey the area, then we will know the extent of the area. It's important that we create a buffer for the areas that are considered mangrove species, like the red mangrove, the black mangrove, the white mangrove, the buttonwood, etc. So the periphery would be covered with dry forest. When you move from the grassland, you would have. This is a very important buffer so that you have reduced erosion, etc. So this will actually contribute towards the whole mangrove ecosystem. It's important that we protect the buffer zones, so that and the buffer zones are all part of the ecosystem as well. So when we're looking at mangrove, we shouldn't just look at those species that need the brackish water to survive.
Now you mentioned a couple of things a while ago, red mangroves, black mangroves. So currently what were they planting here today?
Yeah, so they're planting red mangrove. Now red mangrove is one of the more sensitive ones. Red mangrove is the ones that you'll find that has contact with water at all time, which is brackish water, a combination of salt water and fresh water. Restoration of mangrove is novel to St. Lucia. It's the first time we actually undertaking restoration of mangrove. So we know about restoration of rainforested areas. We began the restoration of dry forests, and we now undertaking the restoration of mangrove. This type of forest ecosystem is really challenging for us. So when we realized there was a huge gap, over 10 acres of mangrove dying back, this was a major challenge for the Forestry Department. So we are happy to engage with a number of stakeholders. We have the TNC, we have the National Trust, and now we have the community participating in the whole process. So the first stage was for us to decide on what kind of methodology we would use to grow the plants, the seedlings. It is not the conventional seedling nursery that you'll find for oranges and the typical rainforest tree species that we have a lot of information and technology in terms of doing it. So we had to seek help from outside, and we're very happy to have the help of TNC, who brought experts who taught us how to be able to grow the mangrove and create the ideal environment for the seedlings to germinate. And now, after 3 months, we're able to germinate a significant amount, over 4,000 plants, that we are engaged in the community, and people are participating in the whole planting process. You realize the planting process is ideal for the red mangrove. The whole brackish water, the water table is quite high, the tide is coming in. This mangrove, this seedlings is planted in the right environment, so it will start growing. It's quite difficult for us and challenging for people to go in there and plant, because people are sinking the water, people are getting wet. However, it is just what is ideal for the plant to grow. This type of environment is what they plant. So mangrove is quite unique. There's a lot of information about mangrove, but there's a lot we don't know about mangrove as well, and a lot we are studying. So this is a plot for us. This is a lab that we will be conducting a lot of research to know, and then we will be documenting it so that it can be able to inform people later on. I'm sure if climate change is a challenge for us, we will be able to have evidence to be able to make decisions in the future based on the information that we collect today and the information that we've been collecting in the past. So these ecosystems like mangroves are critical. In Indonesia and some of the areas, there's a study that was done after the tsunami, and they realized there's a significant tendency for areas that have the mangrove, healthy mangrove, to be less impacted by tsunami. This is important for us in St. Lucia to understand that as well, because we are on the Atlantic side and we never know when the tsunami will hit. So if we have this kind of disaster risk reduction method that is natural, it is much better than we put in a man-made structure, because this is natural, and the natural system, when you interfere with it, the cost and the opportunity cost for replacing the mangrove would be tremendous. So we definitely are trying our best to see how we could be able to protect the mangrove, conserve it. So as we continue in terms of today's activities, today's activity I think is the best practice in terms of involving the community in conservation of mangrove, and a very important ecosystem that a lot of people can be able to relate it to. And it's really unique in its form, because only you can only find mangrove ecosystem in tropical areas.
The Opicon Charcoal and Agricultural Producers Association and EcoTours is headed by Vincent Jeg Clark, a member of the neighboring community.
My name is Vincent Jeg Clark. I represent the Opicon Charcoal and Agricultural Producers and Eco South Tours.
All right, Jeg, we know this is your territory. Give us an idea, what have you been doing here today?
Oh, it's not today. It's for the whole week we've been trying to restore the dying part of the mangrove that we see that was in need of restoration. So we believe that helping it do it on its own would take too much a longer process. So we had to train and get the seeds germinate and everything. So now we're looking to put at least 3,000 to 4,000 plants in the die-out area. So that is what we've been doing there for this week.
Now you said you had a number of people coming here, school children and so on. What was it like for them? Did they look like they were enjoying it, and what do you think they learned from all of this?
Yeah, the school children enjoyed it to the fullest. Especially we had kindergarten kids, and this is where they do the planting area, because they were keen, they wanted to plant and have to say that they plant a mangrove tree and restoration of the mangrove. But over the week we've been having Lucilec, the Veterinary Division of the South. And it's been a very participation, collaboration effort among all of us to see that this place is being restored the way it used to be. So this is what we've been doing there for the entire week. And we appreciate that the public is coming and show the support of the restoration of the mangrove, which we know that the proposed development was done for here. And now it's off the line, so we know now, right now we could have work together with community-based groups and to protect this mangrove and have a healthy mangrove in this Ma Kote area.
Now, talk to us about the challenge. How tough was it planting those mangroves?
Yeah, it is a tough challenge, because we had to collect the seeds and then mix the special brackish soil for them, germinate them, and the challenge is that you have to make sure you get salt water for them, the amount of salinity. So it was a challenge for us, and a good thing we had Forestry to assist us in getting the salt water back to the nursery so we could have these 4,000 plants ready for the area. But it was a great challenge, and even in the area, the planting area is still a challenge. But it's fun challenge to see you want to restore the area because of the environment, and you have to go for the brackish mud and everything. But so far so good. Everybody has been enjoying it and been really participating in planting the trees the way that we really expect them to do it.
Our conversation on the Ma Kote Mangrove will continue shortly. This time we are joined by a representative of the Nature Conservancy.